We're going to win one way or the other. We're either going to make a deal or we're going to finish the job, okay? And it won't be tough to finish the job. I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to affect 91 million people. We can knock down their bridges in 1 hour.
President Donald Trump has once again threatened to finish the job in Iran, triggering an immediate and fiery response from Tehran. Iran's top security official has warned President Trump to speak with respect if Washington truly wants diplomacy. As the United States talks about a possible deal, Tehran insists it will never accept negotiations conducted through threats. Iran says America's previous military threats ended in failure, not victory, and warns history could repeat itself. With fresh tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, the region now stands at a dangerous crossroads between diplomacy and another military escalation. Iran's top security chief has described President Donald Trump as delusional after his latest military threats against the Islamic Republic. Mohammad Bagher Zolghadr warned Trump to address the Iranian people with respect or face a response in another language. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Secretary Mohammad Bagher Zolghadr said, and I quote, "I say to the delusional President of the United States, who today threatened 91 million Iranians, speak to the Iranian people with respect, or we will respond to you in another language," unquote. Iran says every American threat has ultimately resulted in defeat, desperation, and requests for a ceasefire rather than victory. Tehran says Washington has repeatedly tried to intimidate Iran's thousand-year-old civilization but has never succeeded. Zolghadr insisted that the Iranian people will never respond positively to the language of threats and intimidation. Iran maintained that no amount of American military pressure would force the country to abandon its core positions. The warning comes only days after Ali Khamenei's funeral, where Iranian leaders projected a powerful message of resistance and defiance. President Donald Trump said the United States would either secure a deal with Iran or finish the job militarily. Trump claimed the US could destroy Iran's bridges, power grid, and critical energy infrastructure within just a few hours. Despite issuing those warnings, Trump said he would still prefer reaching a diplomatic agreement with Tehran. The latest exchange underlines how fragile ceasefire diplomacy has become as tensions continue rising between Washington and Tehran.
And the famous Strait of Hormuz, nobody ever heard of, but that is some big money machine. I'll tell you what. When you look at the numbers, Michael, that makes everything look small. No, wait, and we took out so much oil that people didn't know, and it took a month and a half. They finally found out they had no radar because their radar was destroyed. So we took them out late at night with no lights, or no nothing. And our great Navy, which did the greatest blockade anyone's ever seen, not one ship got through in 2 months. And we then freed up the blockade because we're close to maybe making a deal. I don't know. We'll make either. Look, we're going to win one way or the other. We're either going to make a deal or we're going to finish the job, okay? And it won't be tough to finish the job. I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to affect 91 million people. We can knock down their bridges in 1 hour. We can knock out their energy supply, all of those big plants that they built, big, beautiful, modern plants. They had a lot of money. They don't have any money now. We haven't given them any money. But we can knock out their electricity and power generating plants in, I would say, a small part of an afternoon. Every plant will be gone. And they know that. Iran, we're doing actually equally as well. We're just not getting the kind of coverage that we should. But we have eviscerated them military, and the bottom line is our country is strong. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. I was with President Xi 3 weeks ago, and I said that, and there was no argument. Nobody's arguing. We built it during my first term, and we're using it now for very good reasons, because in this case, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. We can never let that happen. Well, I think people know. Look, oil is now at a level that it was, I think it's even lower on a barrel basis than it was before we started. We've gotten concessions. Now, they have to hold those concessions, but there'll be no nuclear weapon. We're going to be getting the, as I call it, dust, the enriched material, nuclear dust, I call it. Seems to have taken off, but it's enriched material. We're getting it. We're getting. I went in for one reason, very strongly, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I'm not looking for regime change, although this is regime change. The first regime is gone. The second regime is gone. And I think the third regime is more reasonable, but we'll find out. But we've destroyed their, as you know, completely destroyed 150. They had 159 ships. Every single ship is at the bottom of the sea. We've completely destroyed. They don't have one airplane. They don't have radar. You know, one of the reasons we kept the oil down, because a lot of people said, Kevin, and a lot of people were saying that oil could go to $300, $350 a barrel, but one of the reasons that prediction wasn't right is we were taking out on average of 10, but sometimes less, sometimes more.
Iranian state media reacts after ship is attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, blaming the incident on a failure to heed military warnings. Iran claims a tanker was hit after ignoring repeated warnings, as Tehran doubles down on its version of the Hormuz confrontation. Iran is warning ships in the strait not to rely on support from the US Navy as tensions over passage rules escalate. Iran state broadcaster IIB, citing anonymous sources, said, and I quote, "An oil tanker attacked in the Strait of Hormuz was targeted after attempting to pass through the Omani route with support from the US Navy. The vessel was attacked after ignoring repeated warnings." Unquote. Tehran says vessels passing through Hormuz must coordinate with its military or face serious consequences. War fears are rising once again after Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was accused of striking a commercial vessel linked to a key US Arab ally. Reports claim the IRGC fired missiles at commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, threatening one of the world's busiest maritime routes. The Strait of Hormuz has erupted into fresh turmoil, with reports suggesting a Qatari LNG tanker was among the vessels caught in the attack. 2 commercial ships were reportedly hit as the IRGC allegedly began carrying out revenge for the death of Ali Khamenei. A Qatari liquefied natural gas tanker was reportedly caught in the missile attack near the Strait of Hormuz, according to reports. The IRGC is now being accused of targeting global shipping even as diplomatic efforts between Washington and Tehran continue. Missiles have once again shaken the Strait of Hormuz, placing global shipping on high alert. The IRGC has warned merchant fleets that its missiles and drones remain ready for action. A tanker erupted in flames after reportedly being struck by a missile off the coast of Oman. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations confirmed that a tanker had been struck as security around the Strait of Hormuz rapidly deteriorates. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said, and I quote, "UKMTO has received a report of an incident 8 nm east of Lima, Oman. A tanker has reported being hit by an unknown projectile on the port side, causing a fire whilst traveling southbound. No casualties or environmental impact reported. Authorities are investigating. Vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity." Unquote. The United States has accused Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of attacking civilian shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Commercial ships were reportedly damaged as fears grow that the Iran conflict is once again spilling into a vital global sea lane. The IRGC has warned vessels to avoid routes protected by US-led security operations in the Strait of Hormuz. Despite the attack, authorities say no casualties have been reported, even as concern spreads across the shipping industry. Analysts warn the latest strike could threaten global oil and liquefied natural gas supply chains. After targeting military assets, the IRGC is now accused of taking aim at merchant vessels. The The shipping crisis is deepening as missiles are reportedly fired into one of the world's most strategic maritime corridors.